as we all know, healthcare is a performance business. And despite the fact that so much of our energy is put behind Lean and Six Sigma, most of us are struggling to keep pace with meeting the performance expectations of our business. In fact, in a recent study, it was shown that for every $1,000 that was spent on Lean and Six Sigma initiatives, only $1 was saved. And this is really a challenge showing us that right now it's more and more difficult for us to actually become more effective and more efficient in healthcare. What's interesting is the fact that in simple terms, this is simply about moving data into action. So if we want to improve performance and improve the output of our system, all we have to do is take the available data and put it into the appropriate action. However, from a laboratory perspective, that's really, really challenging because we live in a world where there's more data and coming at us in a lot of interesting ways that makes it difficult for our team. We have not only the data that's coming from the LIS, we have the data that may be coming from the EMR, we have the data that's coming from clinicians, and the data that's coming from a number of other sources. And that data is coming at us in a way that's unstructured, it's unorganized, in some cases unclear and untimely. Now, even in the places where we actually have been able to structure data, because the laboratory was the first to measure and the first to run off of metrics. We may have structured data and structured reports, but what's happened in the laboratory recently is those metrics have exploded from not just one, but hundreds of different metrics that we're dealing with. So the volume of the data is massive. Now, this may all be well and good and say this is the world we're living in, but it does have implications to us. One, it stresses the business because given all of this data, effectively what we have to rely on is we have to rely on our visual cues. So relying on what we see in terms of being able to improve our operations more so than what the data is able to tell us. Right? Now, that's well and good, but the reality of the matter is that, given that this is a performance business, none of us are guaranteed sustainability. And as we look at the performance of our operation, it's impossible to understand when we compare against all the labs across the globe, where are we on this performance curve? Are we in the top? Are we in the middle? Are we in the bottom? Now, that may not seem to matter, but what's really important to understand is that this performance curve is shifting. Right? The expectations are shifting. And if you're one of these labs that's on the bottom quartile and you're not performing and evaluating, when the performance curve shifts and the number of labs are actually truncated out, you could be left behind and outsourced. Now, what's interesting is it'd be all well and good if we said, okay, well, we should be able to fix this because we are smart people and the laboratory is made up of individuals who are very intelligent. But the simple process is easy. We just need to assess what's going on. We need to plan our work, and we need to execute. And if we could just do those things in a systematic way, we'd be in good shape. The problem is there's just not enough time, right? So any time we'd want to spend assessing or planning or executing is eroded away because we're spending 120% of our time processing samples or dealing with the day-to-day issues that our clinicians are facing, right? But what if we could actually work our way through to simplify the data, to really understand how we're performing versus our peer set, to open up our eyes to see more than just the visual cues, and to put ourselves in a process where we could manage the business as professionals versus working just in the business, processing and being part of the production facility. With our BIS product, what we've done is we've taken all of these hundreds of metrics and we've simplified it into 6 basic categories. Right? Those 6 basic categories that enable us to actually take all of this data and structure it in a meaningful way where we can assess the operation and identify opportunities for improvement in a systematic way versus having to pour through all of the data. This should get us about 95% of the analytics or metrics that we need. So it generates a good vast majority of the insights that we need from an operational perspective. But it's set up so that we can go from a dashboard to detail type of analysis. So just like a microscope, we can see it at a 10x view. We can magnify it to a 100x view, or we can get down into the very granular detail about what this data is telling us. Right? But the same token though, the business intelligence process gives us an external lens with meta-analysis and benchmarking. So effectively what the business intelligence system does is it takes all of your performance data, puts it together, and matches it against all of the performance data of other customers, so you can get a true picture of where you are on this curve, right? And what's driving it. And the meta-analysis tells us exactly the drivers behind this benchmarking. So it gives us insights into what actions we can take or should take to move our business forward. But what's most important about this business intelligence system is it enables us to actually put a business process in play. So not only can you live in a world where you have time to assess, plan, and execute, but it gives you the avid ambassador to do it alongside with you. So you have somebody embedded in your institution whose sole job is to understand the analytics, understand the data, and work collectively with you through a disciplined business process to convert that data into action, which at the end of the day improves performance.